This is not the video that I thought I was going to be uploading for you guys. I'm honestly going back and forth even right now if I should upload this video. I have such a hard time even looking at the camera to talk about this. I've been sitting here for like 20 minutes trying to even start filming, and I feel like my heart is going to drop out of me. This video is going to be the rawest footage that you will ever get from me, but I feel like it's important to talk about because no one really is, and I have a platform, and I've been talking to you guys about us trying to get pregnant and just everything that like we've been going through, so it only feels right to talk about a personal experience, especially if someone else is going through this right now. I have been watching hours of potential baby name videos and like gender reveals on YouTube, and then it just all came to a screeching halt. So we got married about 2.5 years ago, and that is when I got off of birth control. We were not trying until about 6 months ago, and that's kind of when, for me, I was ready. My husband has been ready since we started dating. Like 3 months in, he wanted kids, but I needed to be ready. I needed to be okay where I was in my career, in our house, like financially, and I felt like I was 6 months ago, so that's when we started trying, and that's when insecurities in me started coming up, like why wasn't I pregnant yet, and why was it so hard? And then I was going to the doctor, and I started prenatals, and finally it happened. What's up, everyone? I don't know if this footage will actually ever see the light of day. I say hi. So I am late for my period, and it's only a day or two, but I have been tracking like everything for, oh my God, like almost 3 years, and I've been off birth control for 2 years, so I pretty much have it down to a science of when I am supposed to get it. So the app alerted me that I am maybe pregnant. So we are on our way to CVS right now to go get a test, but it has only been 1 or 2 days, so I don't have like crazy high hopes, but we are still gonna go to the store, still gonna take a test.
You still haven't gotten your period?
Nope.
What are you doing?
Let me.
What are you doing? Why is the light on?
Because, I don't know, I'm nervous. I'm nervous.
Why?
I don't know, I just put it down and walked away.
Did you even do it right?
Yeah. You just pee on a stick. What?
You think it's done already?
I don't know, I literally just peed. It's no.
I swear, no, it's not. It's yes.
It's no. It
Why would I
says
lie
yes.
about? I swear to God, yeah.
Nuh-uh.
Did you do it right?
Are you
No,
you?
I'm
Nuh-uh.
not. I swear to God.
Nuh-uh.
It says yes plus Mark.
Nuh-uh.
I'm not. You think I really lied?
You think it's real?
I fucking hope so. Did you do it right? Come here.
You think I'm really pregnant?
I fucking hope so. Why are you crying? I thought you said you weren't gonna cry. Oh my God, you're sweating.
So scared that I couldn't get pregnant.
All right, so you should be happy. Holy fucking shit.
No, do you think it's real?
I fucking know, man. I hope so.
I'm gonna have to chug another bottle of water to try again.
You wanna?
Look at Kelly. What's the matter with mommy?
Are you gonna be a big sister? So we found out I was pregnant. Clearly very emotional. I was scared I wasn't be able to get pregnant, and they always say that that's half the battle is getting pregnant.
We told our parents that night, we told my sister that night, but everyone was really excited. Obviously, we knew that it was way too early to be telling the world, but we did want to share that with the family members that were closest to us. That was a Sunday, so the next day I called my OBGYN, but because of everything going on with quarantine and with Corona, they are not doing immediate lab work to confirm that you're pregnant. They're basically just saying, you're pregnant, you took the pregnancy test, congratulations. They scheduled my first appointment for 10 weeks out, and that was pretty much it. So it's weird because you get so excited and you can't share this huge secret that you want to tell like all of your closest friends and your family and just everyone in your life, and you have to really keep it on lockdown because the chances of a miscarriage are so high in your first trimester. So I immediately start researching. Obviously, there's not much to do when you're locked in the house 24/7 for like 2 months straight. So I start researching what I can't eat, what I can eat. We were like already thinking about baby names. We were debating what room we were going to use the nursery, if it would be my filming room, which I spend so much time in, our guest bedroom. So I really didn't experience any telltale pregnancy symptoms. I did not have morning sickness or all day sickness. My skin was glowing. My hair was just like so shiny and full and just felt so much longer. My breast started to get tender, but that was really it. I didn't have any like bad symptoms. Everything just felt so good and we were so happy. So I eventually told my 2 best friends. It was kind of weird because with everyone that we told, I just kind of felt like a pit in my stomach, like, oof, it was kind of like a tally mark, like that's one more chance that it's not gonna work out. And I don't know why my thought process was like so negative, but I think because everything I was reading was like, do not tell anyone until 10 to 12 weeks, until you are out of the clear. Like you have your ultrasounds, and even at 10 to 12 weeks, there's still a chance. So I would definitely say for the entire month of April, I was happy. We were just so freaking happy. And it sounds so crazy, but I was already reaching out, and I'm just a psycho. Like I am a complete psycho when it comes to anything. If I get something in my head, I need to execute it or else I just can't stop thinking about it. So I was already messaging like venues for Labor Day weekend, on potential baby shower locations, just because we do live on the water. Things pack out quickly, and it's crazy to say that I was already thinking about that, but when you're home alone and there's nothing else to do, it's easy to get carried away. If you have ever been engaged, you know that you immediately are like, oh, I'm gonna chill out on wedding planning, and then the next 2 hours you have like your wedding planned. It's nuts. I don't know how to explain it, but it's juvenile and naive, but it's what I did. So on Monday, April 20th, I was washing dishes, and all of a sudden I started feeling cramping, and that was kind of normal because throughout the first month, I definitely felt cramping, but it was only at night, and it was more of just like a bloated pressure where it was harder to fall asleep, but it wasn't painful. And then this like evening, afternoon, I would say later afternoon, it was around like 3 o'clock, it didn't feel normal. It didn't hurt, but it wasn't right. I went to the bathroom and I was spotting. So, clearly a mess. I just started bleeding and I'm cramping. So I called my OBGYN and I have to go in for an ultrasound right now. So I have to go into my ultrasound alone at the hospital. They're not letting anyone in because of coronavirus, obviously. And then I have to go in for my lab work tomorrow morning, but obviously taking every measure possible. They don't know what's going on. They haven't seen me yet. I'm such like an anxious person, so I'm trying not to like make it worse. But I think with just like everything going on with Corona, I've been so like calm, and everything in my world has been okay with it, that now I'm like freaking out that this could be like what bad happens to like me, because everything else has been good. So this is where the video is going to get more graphic. So if you do not want to see images, or if you will be triggered by anything, just fast forward to this time frame right here so you can skip out all of this. I know this is going to be a little bit of TMI, but for me, the week that I was kind of in limbo of, am I losing the baby? Or am I okay? The videos that I was able to watch on YouTube are the only thing that got me to sleep, that just gave me like any form of hope. Sorry, I had to take a minute. So those videos really helped me get through that week of unknown, and I'll get into the unknown part. By the time they called me back, it was about like 6 o'clock. I had called my husband. He was at the grocery store for us, and he rushed home, brought me to the hospital, and of course I had to do this alone, like everything during this quarantine. I went in, I'll insert a clip. I had to get escorted up to the x-ray like section of the hospital and sat in a dark waiting room alone for like 20 minutes for the tech to come get me for my ultrasound. It was later, so there was not a lot of people there. It was just her and another technician that were on. And basically she told me that because I am so early, I would have to do an internal ultrasound. So I sat there and I was very silent because I was in such shock, but trying to be so positive. So I remember just laying there and being very quiet and trying in my head to just be so positive. And I didn't want to ask any questions, definitely because I was nervous. I wish I had spoken up more, but I was just like shutting down and trying so hard not to absolutely lose my shit when this poor technician is giving me an ultrasound. So with a technician, if it's not a doctor, they can't face the screen at you, so I was not able to see anything. Even if I was, you can't ask them any questions. It's not what they are there for. They are there to give you the exam basically, and then they send everything off to your doctor. So even if I wasn't so silent, I really wasn't gonna be able to get any answers. So when I got up from the ultrasound, I had to wipe myself down wipe myself up, clean myself up. And when I did that, there was a lot more blood than was before on the towel that she gave me, and there was blood dripping down the mat or whatever that I was laying on, the table I was laying on. Immediately more anxious and nervous and scared and just every bad feeling that you don't want to feel when you're pregnant. So when they had scheduled my internal ultrasound at the hospital, they made it clear that I was going to go to the OBGYN the next day for lab work, basically like a pregnancy test and to test my hormone levels. When I woke up that Tuesday, the cramps had like unleashed on me. The pain was overwhelming. So it's the next morning. I think I lost it. And I went to bed last night and I really didn't have like any bleeding at all. And then this morning I woke up and there's a lot of blood and I'm still cramping. So I still have to go in for my labs in like 2 hours, but it's not looking good. It started off as really brown and kind of spotting, and now I was bleeding. So as I was getting my lab work done, I definitely spoke up a little bit more. I was a huge mess, I'm not gonna lie. Every time I tried to speak or every time someone spoke to me, I was crying. As soon as she was done taking my blood work, I was asking questions and she was clicking around my file and found out that they had actually ordered me another blood test and they had scheduled an exam with my doctor, and I was not alerted about that until I was obviously sitting there getting blood work done. And then I went in for my exam. So the 2 blood tests that I had done was one basically a pregnancy test to check my hormones, and then the other one was to see my blood type. It turns out I have B negative blood, which is pretty rare. It's the second rarest blood type, and I guess having a negative blood type in a pregnancy it's not that it's not ideal, but it can be problematic, and I'll get into that after. So I went in for my exam. She did the exam and it turns out that my cervix was still closed, which is a positive sign. Your cervix closes when you are pregnant and then it opens up and shortens when you're getting ready to deliver the baby. So that was positive news, and She told me that my ultrasound did show that I had my gestational sac and my egg sac were both developed, but there was no fetal, like nothing fetal related. But that could have been because I was so early, not because I had lost it. So that Tuesday I was basically in limbo. There was nothing that I learned, nothing that I really gained from that. I still did not know if I was having a miscarriage or if I was just bleeding. The bleeding just continued and the pain was bad. The pain was really bad and it was scary, but I was still trying to figure out, am I just bleeding and this like too shall pass, or am I having a miscarriage? But as Tuesday continued to go on, my body was just going through so much pain. I was so uncomfortable that I couldn't get comfortable and I couldn't fall asleep. I would wake up from like just shooting pain going through my stomach. I don't even know how to explain the pain. So later on that afternoon, I went to the bathroom and I was still bleeding, but I felt something come out of me, and I really don't know how to explain it or process it. It was like my heart literally fell out of me. Like immediately, it was like I knew. Like that was the moment that I lost it. I wouldn't say I was surprised, because based on the pain that I was going through, and then to kind of have something of that size and caliber come out of me, I just knew. So I did not take a photo of this. I wish I did. I wish I had examined it more. I would say it was like the size of my palm. It was not sac-like, like images that I was seeing on Google, or images that, or video that I would then see later on YouTube. And I did take it out of the toilet because I just needed to know like what was that. I've never had anything leave my body of that size, and it was just flat and it was open and it looked like a lining. I don't know how to explain it, but it was not like sac-like and there was nothing in it. It just looked like a lining that had just shed, but it was super dark, clot-like, and that was the moment that I knew that I lost the baby, but still had to think of 1,000 different reasons of why it wasn't the baby or a miscarriage. And I kept telling myself, maybe I'm early and it's just like the cervix shed. I don't know. You literally just try and rattle your brain for everything that could have gone wrong or that it could not be, instead of sinking into this hole of like, that's it. So when I had left my appointment on the Tuesday, they had to schedule blood work for 48 hours later, and the blood work is supposed to tell you how your hormone levels are, to confirm if you have had a miscarriage or not. The Tuesday was when I lost that really big blood clot, and then Wednesday morning I woke up and it was like night and day. It was literally like a storm on Tuesday, and Wednesday was sunshine and butterflies and rainbows. It was crazy. All the pain had passed. My bleeding was now spotting. It was a lot lighter. It just happened so fast that I was like, oh my God, maybe yesterday was just like a really bad day. I don't know. I felt a lot better on Wednesday, and I was so much more positive that things were going to progress in a positive manner and I was going to continue on with my pregnancy. So on Thursday, I went back into my OBGYN and I had my blood drawn, and I also had a shot. So this is following up on the negative blood type. If you have a negative blood type and the baby has a positive blood type, which was way too early to be able to tell, basically your body fights it to get rid of it. I have to get a shot. I think it was called Rodin. I don't remember what it was called. It started with an R, but I had to get a shot so that my body would not fight off any positive blood types for future pregnancies. So that is a preventative measure that they do take. They do not do labs inside their office. They send it to the local hospital that I had just visited on Monday for my internal ultrasound. And they basically told me that because I came in the morning, they would send the labs at 12, get them back at 2:30, and that's when I would have my answer. I don't know how to explain it, and I think only women really can, but that Wednesday night when I went to bed, I looked at my husband. I just told him, I don't think I have the baby anymore. My body was telling me that I wasn't pregnant anymore, but my mind was trying to tell me to stay so positive. On Thursday, I had to go to the bathroom, and at this point, I wasn't bleeding when I would go to the bathroom, but there would still be blood in my pad. So the spotting had seriously diminished, but then another clot came out, and I did take a photo of that. This is what came out, and I examined it at this point, and it was not sac-like. It was open again. It was definitely not as big as the one that I had on Tuesday, but it was another one. So I immediately called the office and I told them that another clot had passed. I asked them to put an urgent rush on my file, on my results, to get answers back. I needed to know, like, I was going insane. I needed an answer. So at 2:38, the nurse called me and she let me know that my hormone levels on Tuesday were 6,700 and that today I was below 1,100. So that was confirmation that it was a miscarriage. I didn't even know what to say. I wanted to get off the phone and go tell my husband, and that's what I did. There's a billion things that could have happened or couldn't have happened. It just wasn't meant to be. And it sounds so cliche, but our bodies are amazing and they go through so much, and they're capable of so much. So whatever was happening obviously was not what was meant to happen for us right now, and that's kind of where we're going to leave it. I'm not going to rattle my brain with, should I have made ham on Easter? Should I have gone for an almost 4-mile walk the day before? Like, you literally drive yourself insane. They still have to monitor your blood. They have to make sure that your hormones get down to 0. You still have to have another internal ultrasound to make sure that everything is okay in there and not in there still, so you don't suffer from any infections, and make sure that the next pregnancy hopefully goes a lot smoother. So you really can't compare yourself to anyone. You just have to know that a lot of other people are going through the same thing. It's very common, unfortunately, but I did spend that week just hunting for information, and nothing was helping me. Like, reading blog posts were not helping me. It was the videos and seeing other women that suffered from a miscarriage or bleeding, but then still were able to get pregnant like 4 months later and just have healthy children. And there were so many comments on every video of women that were going through similar situations, and everything ended up okay. And that's really what I want this video to be. This video is not looking for pity. This video is to be there for other women that are going through the same thing and don't have anyone to talk to, or don't have a platform, or don't know where to turn. I've always been so honest with you guys, and that's how I'm always going to be. And I don't feel like it would be right if I would have uploaded a video, because I had it edited on that Monday, 2 days after we found out that I was pregnant. I had the whole pregnancy announcement video ready. It's still saved on my computer. It's still on private on my YouTube channel. So why would I upload a pregnancy announcement, but I wouldn't talk about the bad that can happen as well? Because unfortunately, this is reality. If you are going through pregnancy during quarantine, I know how lonely it can be, not being able to tell your family in person and get hugs from them. It's hard. It's hard. And then going through this is harder too. But if you are going through anything similar, like, feel free to send me a direct message on Instagram. I have chatted with you guys about abusive relationships, about really hard times. I've definitely grown really close to you guys through certain situations, and I hope I can still be there for you through new ones. So just trust your body, try and stay positive through anything. If you are pregnant, congratulations. Everything will work out how it is supposed to be, and I really appreciate you guys for watching and being there for me too.